This is a Film Stories original podcast.
We made this.
Welcome everyone to the X-Cast. The truth is in here. This is our special Fight the Future Minute podcast. I'm Russ Hugo, and you are listening to our coverage of Minute 52 of the X-Files Fight the Future. And on this countdown, with a bullet, Top 40 begins at actually Minute 51, when we're now spending time with a well-manicured man in glorious Somerset, England. And it ends at 51:59. To discuss this minute, I'm joined by fellow X-Castee Deana Ferreri. Hello for the last time.
Hello again, Russ, for the last time.
Oh, life is fleeting. It is too fleeting. I'm going to let you, since it's the final one, and I monopolize the last one. What are your thoughts of this little snapshot into privilege and wealth?
Well, I really enjoy this facial expression the well-manicured man does when the butler, because, you know, as we discussed, this is like extravagant wealth. We're looking at the butler comes out and says, "Sir, you have a call." And you see the well-manicured man's face just sort of fall. You know, he was really content watching the kids play, and you can just see in his eyes, it's never good news when he gets a call. So you can just tell it has to be something with the something with the syndicate, some sort of bad news, and it's sort of like it brings him back to reality. You know, you could tell that he's sort of he's been able to forget for a few seconds about all that. So I like that. I like that part of it. And then he has this conversation with the smoking man about a meeting that they're assembling for that evening, and that the meeting, manicured man asks who has called the meeting, and the smoking man says that it was Strughold, which I find interesting. I mean, I know Strughold the character, we only see him in Fight the Future, but they never use names. Like, none of these guys have names or call each other by any names, but Strughold gets a name, which I thought was kind of interesting. It's usually only the sort of, like, lower down guys. Like, they call Krychek by his name. But, yeah, I mean, you know, First Elder, Smoking Man, Well-Manicured Man, they never use any names. So, yeah, I sort of wondered how high up is Strughold, and it seems like he's pretty high up. Like, they're all, you know, taking what he says very seriously.
My hunch is, for the writing purposes, they did it just to connect it to the Strughold Mining Company from, was a paperclip, I think, where they had the big scene there for a little continuity action. That is, and Strughold also just has that nice German, Teutonic, Aryan creepiness to it, which fits well with the mythology. So, but no, it's a good observation that it is a rare thing. I think Victor Klemper, I don't know if it was Syndicate, but there's a couple other people that are low level, like you're saying. But yeah,
that was like, yeah. My main note from this minute is, who is Strughold and how does he really fit in?
Yeah, it seems like because he's running the base in Tunis, we later find spoilers. So I just apologize for that. But my thought is just like going back to the mining company and things like that he's just been around, or maybe the family's been around for a long time, or maybe it's actually he's not related to it and it's just a continuity thing. We don't know, and that's fine. I mean, the movie at this point and the mythology is revealed so much. Introduce a few characters and not explain everything is good.
Right.
I do like how the scene of the Well-Manicured Man ends with the kid, getting a sprained knee or ankle or something, injuring himself. It's just a nice way to transition it and kind of humanize it, but not force it too much. And that's kind of done off in the distance, so you don't see what's happening.
Yeah, I like that too. And I just like in general the Well-Manicured Man as sort of like the moral center of the syndicate, where he usually tries to pull it back from any, unnecessary violence a lot of the time. And so yeah, the trans. I mean, I guess that's skipping ahead to the next minute where we know he's late because one of his grandkids had this fall. But yeah, seeing him look out the window, we get a little more. We get a little more from him as far as like empathy than we do from other members. Well, I guess we only really see more of Well-Manicured Man and the cigarette smoking man, but we definitely can see a little more empathy in the Well-Manicured Man.
Yeah, and it fits with his previous portrayals, so it doesn't come out of the blue or feel like it was forced for the film. I think it was a good choice of a character to take the fall, to kind of play the deep throat for Fight the Future. Although it is Mulder who gets the gunshot out of the van this time. Oh, geez, another spoiler. Oh, my gosh. Okay. They, of course, talked to the cigarette smoking man in the meeting, and it looks like, I think that's in the meeting room in London. And that's pretty much it. Any thoughts on, maybe since this is the only appearance, but the cigarette smoking man's role in the film and how well he's utilized?
Yeah, I feel like he's not exactly himself in the movie. I feel like we don't, or maybe we just don't see enough of him. Like, the cigarette smoking man is a really, really complex character, and we're not really seeing all sides of him in the movie. Like, it seems like Strughold's a little more of the villain. Like, he's the one who sort of takes charge in the syndicate, and you don't really see, like, Smoking Man is always trying to protect Mulder to a certain extent. I mean, I don't think we see as much of that in Fight the Future as we do in the rest of the mythology. Like, I don't think that I don't think he would have gone along with the whole plan to kill Mulder. With even the whole thing with Scully. Like, the Smoking Man is a little more strategic in dealing with Mulder and Scully, and, like, we don't really see that in Fight the Future. That's really what I'm trying to say. Like, he's always sort of, if he always sort of wants some sort of control over Scully so he can hold it over Mulder. But to just, like, take her away and throw her in this, like, big frozen spaceship thing, it just doesn't seem like something he would do.
Yeah, he seems much more symbolic in the film as just a bad guy agent. There is a little bit, stepping far beyond our minute, but when they're in Antarctica, there's a hint that maybe he's mildly concerned, or he's not intentionally trying to have Mulder killed, but it's like, I can't help him, so we're just going to roll. But it is not clear his motivations in this, and I do think the whole treatment of Scully thing is bizarre. It works because we don't know if they want to test using the vaccine yet, and that's why they're trying to contain it. And it's not like they put the bee on Scully, so can't really ascribe them blame. It's all nice and vague in that sense. I'll give them credit. But again, like I said, we don't really connect much with him. He's just sort of around.
Yeah, I guess that's what I'm trying to say, and I sort of rambled through it, and, like, yeah, he's sort of, like you said, he's sort of symbolic. We're not really seeing, like, all the nuances that we usually see in him. Just one more thing on Strughold, because I know you mentioned, we have the Strughold Mining Company from Paperclip. I know we never see Strughold again. Do we ever hear about him ever again? I don't remember. I mean, probably not.
I don't think so.
Because the whole syndicate thing sort of wraps up pretty soon after the movie.
So he only appears in there, though it is mentioned in the episode One Son that this is from X-Files Wiki. Episode One Son that Diana Foley had spent considerable time in Tunisia.
In Tunisia, right. I do remember that.
Because she was working for Strughold.
Right, so there was like a connection there.
And since I guess he wasn't in One Son, so he may still be alive. He still may be alive or not, we don't know. And the film does not establish why Strughold is based in Tunisia, but in a secret track on the X-Files The Album, Chris Carter says that by 1990, the syndicate's only orders would be taken from a man named Strughold, a German industrialist who had fled his homeland to northern Africa. Though this statement refers to Strughold as being the leader of the syndicate, his exact position in the group is not established in the film. And then somebody in the comment, in the 2008 audio commentary for Fight the Future, Chris Carter confirms Strughold is the namesake for Strughold Mining Company and presumably its owner.
Got it. Well, actually, what's kind of funny about that, as you were reading it, I realized that I did look this up and I read exactly that and just never made notes on it, so I totally forgot.
You still did the research.
I did. It just didn't stay in my head.
But that wraps up our latest Fight the Future Minute. Thanks for listening, everyone. And thank you, Deana, very much for joining me on this 8-minute journey through Fight the Future.
Thank you. This was fun.
Very much. Thanks, Tony and company. And until our next minute, remember as always...
Trust no one, Mr. Mulder.
Previously on the We Made This Network. Make it so.
Someday we will sing songs of the battle of Discovery's survival. Through adversity.
Yeah.
And, Tony, if it had been any other series, if it had been any other project, if it had been any other project other than, being the flagship to launch a whole new commercial enterprise by a little entity no one ever heard of called CBS, if it had not had a three-way pressure point, if there'd been this kind of problem in development on anything else, they would have pulled the plug and, walked away. But it was Star Trek, and it had to launch this new series, and the whole world is watching. So, by God, keep throwing money at it until we get something on the screen, literally.
Pull or pass?
Amazon Prime in the UK is now listing New Mutants as a pre-order.
Yes.
It's got a 12 rating, and it's got no release date.
Yeah. But you can pay for it up front.
You can. And I'm almost tempted, because it'll just kind of drop in your Amazon when it's available. And it's a film I've wanted to see for a very long time. I wonder whether we'll notice that the cast have aged by the time we get to see that film.
The Movie Palace.
Okay, so the main reason we're here, of course, is this new book, Daring Darlene, Queen of the Scream. How would you describe this book to people who are unaware of it? You can give away as much of the story as you want, I guess. But yeah, how would you kind of pitch it, I suppose?
Well, it's a story of a girl named Darlene, who has been an actress in the silent film industry since earliest childhood. She was a child star.
Check out all of these shows and more on the We Made This podcast network.